So from January until September of 2023, I lost 35 pounds and completely changed the way that my body looked. But then over the next 12 months, I gradually, little by little, put on more weight until a point where 12 months later, I was weighing 17 pounds more. And I was aware of this, very conscious of this as the year has gone on. And I have tried here and there various things to kind of curb it, but nothing really meaningful. And then September of this year came along and I just suddenly had the urge to do something about it. Like I had had enough and I was finally ready to face up to where I'd got myself and turn my health and fitness back around. I was definitely on the path to putting all of the weight back on again. So at the beginning of September, I started a 10-day challenge to change my health and fitness back around, and I lost a couple of pounds in that time. I learned a lot and I feel really happy for that experience. And that led me into a 5-week challenge, which I've just finished week 2 of. So I'm basically somebody that really thrives off a challenge, off a deadline, and I know that. So I'm trying to work with that by setting myself all these mini challenges. And I basically had 5 weeks until I went away for a long weekend with my sister. So I thought that was a really good goal because I know I'm gonna wanna indulge a little bit on that weekend as well, and I'm gonna wanna feel my absolute best when I go away. Now, the first week of this challenge, is fair to say, did not go to plan and I did not lose any weight. So I've just completed week 2. And in this video, I'm gonna be talking through how I found this week, basically, what my challenges were, what went well, what things I might be changing up, and what weight I have lost. One thing I realised when I looked back on the video from my week 1 of this challenge is that I can't actually see like any physical changes that I might be undergoing. So I've decided that each week I'm going to film myself, a little clip of myself, so that I can look back and like track the progress, because I found that so helpful in 2023. I took a video of myself at the very start of January of 2023. And I could not believe like how my body changed. Like even the first 6 weeks of 2023, my body changed massively. And it really, really helped me. It helped like spur me on looking at my physical changes. So that's one thing, like having reflected on the journey so far, that I am going to be implementing is taking regular pictures of myself, taking a little video footage every week as much as I possibly can, and so that I can look back on that journey and see the changes, because sometimes you can physically see the changes in your body when you can't see anything on the scales. So having weighed myself this morning, I know that I have not lost any weight for this week, and I'm going in with this at the start of this video because it's clearly something that I need to do something about, right? And I definitely felt disappointed this morning. Not devastated or anything, but I was disappointed. So last week, like I knew that I hadn't done the best last week. And I was just pleased to stay as I was. But this week, I felt like I had made more of an effort and I had been more conscious about what I was eating. And I had expected to see a little bit of a change. Not massive changes, but a bit of a change. So it was a bit disappointing, but I've been doing a lot of thinking throughout the day. So I weighed myself this morning. We're now like 3 p.m. in the afternoon and I've been thinking about it a lot and what I want to do going forward. So I will just say that sharing my journey, documenting my journey here on YouTube does help to keep me motivated. So I would be inclined, I think, if I wasn't sharing my journey here, to have stopped this particular challenge at this point. But I had to ask myself that question this morning. Okay, are we going to continue with this now, or is this it? Like, and if you're going to continue with it, then you've got to change something, right? Because this is clearly not working. And I think that's been super helpful. So obviously I'm going to continue with it. I'm making this video, I'm holding myself accountable. I'm going to continue with this journey. So what am I going to do to change things up? And I think the first point is actually being really honest with myself about how this week has gone. So a lot of the time I am definitely eating mindlessly. I have a problem with snacking, I have a sweet tooth, and I am not accounting for everything that I'm eating. I don't think it's necessarily even a conscious thing, but I don't like calorie counting. I've said this before, and it's hard to calorie count when you're leading a busy life. Like, I don't have time to weigh everything. But I feel like previously I had a better grip of what calories were in the kind of typical meals that I was eating. Like in 2023, I feel like I knew better. Like if I was having a baked oats regularly or porridge that I was having a lot, like I knew roughly how many calories were in that. And my meals have changed a lot in the last year as I've changed my diet to having less ultra processed food. And I don't think I really do have a grip on how many calories I am eating in my most common meals now. So I don't have that, and I think I do need that. So I am going to try to do more calorie counting. I'm not going to promise to count every calorie in every day, especially when I am not working from home. When I am working away from home, I am at the mercy of everyone else when it comes to being fed. I can obviously, I'm making my decisions about what I choose to eat, but I'm not in control of what I order. A lot of the time the food is just there. So there is that, but I am working from home a lot. So that means that I can be a bit more proactive in working out how many calories I'm eating. So I've done that so far today, and I have recorded everything, and already it's been a bit of an eye-opener. Like, I'm a snacky person, and I will like have a chunk of cheese, and today, like, I started my day, I didn't have time for breakfast anyway, but I am still trying to eat within a shorter window, so that's okay. But I started my day with having like half a tub of cottage cheese. Then I had a chunk of like Edam cheese as snack. So far, like, I started my day with cheese and then cheese. And previously, I think that all of that I would have just like not really thought about, because it wasn't a meal. I didn't sit down to eat it. It was just something I grabbed because I was really hungry and I was about to go into like a bunch of meetings. So I recorded how many calories that I had consumed. Then I weighed the cheese, I weighed the Edam, I recorded how much I had from the pot of the cottage cheese, and it was 200 calories, which is fine, absolutely fine. But if you add that up and you do that like repeatedly throughout a day, sometimes in my head I'm thinking I'm having 2 meals, but I'm not really, because all of the other bits definitely add up to a third meal, and then I'm having extras on top of that. So that is definitely something for me to be realistic about. I could say like, oh, I've tried really hard, and I have been more conscious this week, and just be disappointed and be like, oh, well, this is just middle age, right? This is what being 41 and trying to lose weight is all about. Just, that's it, my metabolism has slowed. And whilst my metabolism may have slowed, it doesn't, like, you don't get to 40 and your metabolism just like falls off a cliff, right? It's a gradual deterioration, is that the right word? Gradual slowing of your metabolism. So if I lost 35 pounds last year, there's absolutely no reason why I cannot lose weight this year. And I need to remember that. I've done it before, I can do it again. So I will be counting calories going forward. I'm still going to be trying to stick to a shorter eating window, and generally speaking, eating 2 meals. I really think I need to cut back on some of the snacks that I'm having and the more sugary snacks. I do have a sweet tooth. I have nice chocolate now. Like, I have low, no ultra processed, really, really like yummy chocolate. I mean, to be honest, I like the cheap stuff. I like the Cadbury chocolate too, and I'm not that fussy. I will eat anything when it comes to chocolate, but I will like go and like see what there is in the cupboard and have a little bit of chocolate, and then have a little bit of chocolate later. And it's only small bits, so I haven't really been like counting it in my head. It's just a little bit of a sweet thing, and I'm not sitting down eating a whole bar of chocolate, so therefore it doesn't count. But it does add up, and it quite clearly does, and it's quite clearly impacting me. So I've got 3 weeks now until I go away for the weekend with my sister, and I know I can do something in 3 weeks, okay? I think if we were like a week away, I would probably give up. But we've got 3 weeks. I can do this. 3 weeks exactly today until I go away. So let's see, right? I'm going to set myself a calorie limit of 1,400 calories a day that I'm going to work within. And I am going to be a lot more diligent about what I'm putting into my body. I've kept up with the one walk-in. No, I have not built in any more weights. And that's just routine. I need to find a way of building that into my routine. And right now I don't have any time where I'm like sitting in front of a TV, not doing much, where I could swap that up for weights. So I don't know, but I need to at least, I think I aim for one. I make it realistic, aim for 1 weight session at home in the next week. So that's my aim. Cut calories, aim for that weight session, and record footage of myself to help keep myself on track. I haven't yet looked back at the footage from the very start of that like 10-day challenge in the beginning of September. So now at the very end of September. And I will be interested to see what my body looks like from the beginning of September to the end of September, and if there is any discernible difference, because there might not be. But then let's see, like, right, can we get to the end of October and start to see a difference from the beginning of September? Because I'm not going to finish this at the end of that 5 weeks. That is not it. I am going to keep on. I'm setting myself smaller challenges, keep plodding on and see if I can get to my end goal. When I lost that 35 pounds, that wasn't my goal. My goal at the time was 40 pounds, which wasn't far off it at all. And I mean, I felt amazing after that 35 pound loss, right? But it wasn't my goal achieved, and I still have that like distance to go from where I am now. That is a 20 pound loss basically to get to my original goal. And it would be amazing if I could achieve that before the end of the year. I'm not sure if that is possible, and I don't want to make that like the do or die, you know. If I don't lose 20 pounds by the end of the year, then I stop working towards it. The important thing is that I am working towards it, that I continue towards that goal, that I don't let that like loser mentality get to me. And I appreciate what I can learn and what I can implement. So I'm somebody, I need a plan. Yeah, if I have a plan and I have the rules that I set myself to work within, then I'm good. And I feel like that now. Like, I've thought about it a lot today. I feel like this is a good plan going forward to help me be more mindful, help me stick within the limits of something. And it doesn't have to be forever. I can't calorie count forever. But you know, it's simple maths, isn't it? I won't lose weight unless I'm eating in a calorie deficit. And I quite clearly am not eating in a calorie deficit. Can't even get my words out, put my teeth in. I'm not eating in a calorie deficit. So I'm gonna have my tea, have my chai latte. This is my one thing like that I know is ultra processed that I've struggled to eliminate from my diet. Like, amazingly, I've managed to massively cut back on fizzy drinks. I was such a fizzy drink fiend. I was having 2 cans of, I normally have like 1 can of Diet Coke and 1 can of Diet Dr. Pepper a day. They were my favourites every single day. And whilst I know they're diet drinks, I think for somebody who has a sweet tooth, you're constantly like feeding yourself that sugary sensation. And then obviously it's all the chemicals and stuff that go into them. Like, they didn't make me feel good. I wanted to cut back on my ultra processed food consumption, and that had to go. That was one of the biggest changes for me last year, and into this year I've managed to like keep that up, that big reduction in fizzy drinks. But like, we can't change everything at once, and that I'm definitely guilty of, trying to make too many changes at once. And I learnt that last year. I implemented like changes like at a time, getting them into my basically life, until the point where now, like, I'm eating way less ultra processed food. I'm moving my body every single week. I've completed 2 half marathons, run walking them this year, and I have another one in 2 weeks, which like is amazing. So I have to remind myself, and we do, like, we're so hard on ourselves, aren't we? Like, oh, I haven't lost any weight in the last 2 weeks. I'm rubbish. But like, think of where I've come from. I am not back to where I started. My body is so much healthier for it. And I just need to keep that momentum up. So watch back next week. Next week's going to be a different story. And if it isn't, then I might cry. But I'll still keep going. So yeah, next week is going to be a different story. I am feeling good. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.